Welcome, friend. Welcome to Morrowind. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Morrowind. We're currently in the cave of Addamasartus, where we've just murdered poor Tansy, and to add insult to injury, dressed her in our prison rags. He did start it, and she's a slaver. Don't feel bad. It's what she's here for. In today's episode, we're going to explore the rest of the cave of Addamasartus, possibly meet a sword that I'm not entirely sure about yet. You'll see what I mean. We're definitely going to free some slaves. We're going to help one of those slaves get his boots back. And then, if we can, we're going to go and investigate the oh so deeply tragic death of a tax inspector. Nobody seemed to like it very much. And, you know, tax inspectors, what you're going to do, they're always going to end up badly in some sort of situation like this. But having said that, there are hints in various bits of mod pack information that by finding him and helping the Census and Excise Office come to terms with what happened, you can open up further quest work with them, and that'll be interesting. And besides, it's actually more profitable to take his taxes and give them back than it is to grab them and keep them for yourself. So that's always a nice thing to bear in mind too. As I said last time, the devs do often reward circumspection and decent behaviour, at least at the start of the game. So, let's go have a look. Now we have the key for this door because we already picked it up. So, there we go. Unlock. There's a variety of fighty type people in here who are going to try to murder me on sight. Let's see how that goes. Should get my sword ready. Oh, here's someone. Okay, that went pretty well. Ouch. Fireball was brutal. Okay, that wasn't great. So apparently at the start of Addamasartus they need to be a bit nippier than I was being. So let's try that again on steroids, shall we? Metaphorical steroids. Let's just run around and slaughter people as they approach. Well, I'm still pretty badly dinged up, but that's definitely a lot better. Blade, boots, robe. None of that's really worth taking. I'm trying, now that we're over the first part of the game and we've got ourselves at least vaguely armoured, I'm going to try to, well, obviously I'm going to grab every alchemy ingredient I can, but I'm going to try and keep my things to a 10-to-1 weight to value proposition for the most part. Unless there's obvious benefits for it for some other reason, like it's a potion or a useful weapon or something. That's the key. So these are the Addamasartus slaves that are going to be trafficked. I can let them go, and I will do. But before I do, I think it makes sense to just go and clear out the rest of the ne'er-do-wells in here. There is another way down through here around this cave. I'll probably come out that way in a minute. Morrowind's caves are, for the most part, quite tangled. They lean into the 3D design, and they kind of have fun with making things a little on the trickier side. Will I? We'll see. Weapons, thrown weapons can be quite dangerous, but they're also not too tricky to dodge out of the way of if you're careful and you just charge people. I've always found archery at low levels to be a very frustrating experience as a player. I know it can work. These boots belong to one of our Khajiit friends. That's kind of a clue that something is up, because the Khajiit in Morrowind, for the most part, don't wear boots. Plenty of drugs. Not going to take that. Ingredients. Nice. I will eventually pick up an alchemy set, and then I can start doing things with these ingredients rather than just flogging them onto a rill. But that's not going to happen just yet. And there are some early Mages Guild quests that require you to have certain specific mushrooms from around here. And it can be a minor pain in the neck having to go all the way to other places and then come back and fetch them. So I'm going to try to remember to pick them up while we're out and about. Various mushrooms and the such. A lot of these things, you really wonder why they're smuggling them. Like, okay, maybe they're there to provide a semi-plausible cargo so that the drugs can be hidden? They don't seem to be doing a very good job of it, though. Like, would you be better off with, like, a huge stack of space cabbages or something? I don't know. It's a bit odd. I don't want longbow. Scuttle pie. Delicious. Scuttle are little insecty things. I'm not sure I'd want to eat one in a pie, but I'm not from Morrowind. So what was I wimbling about? Oh yeah, mushrooms. Yeah, I think I've said everything you need to say about that. I'm going to try and remember to pick them up. More lock breakers, that's nice. Because they'll come in handy later. Much like I did the... hairbrush. Much like I did the ledger when I stole it from the Customs and Excise room. That's for someone we'll meet maybe today, maybe next time. Now, this is water, and in water often it's worth going down to see what the devs drop at the bottom. Yeah, that's pretty decent. 170 for 3 weight units is good looting. You will run out of breath if you're not careful. And saber 15 for 24. Less useful. Missed. Teach me right. Teach me right? Serve me right. But am I Elvis? Skin, no thank you. Slappy. I guess that's booze. But Fortify health isn't cataclysmic in a pinch. I mean, like, I could probably stand to drink that now, in fact. If, of course, I could remember how to get my thing open. Right mouse, of course. I may cut that out, but also I suppose I may not. It depends on how much I hate myself. That's most of my health back up, and the fatigue will return pretty quick. Do I have anything else? Fatigue. 1 point to restore health for 5 seconds. Fine, that should finish it off. There. Yeah, there's all kinds of nooks and crannies in Morrowind, and things are often hidden in quite unreasonable places. So they really reward very thorough exploration sometimes. That's not necessarily the best thing to show on camera, has to be said. So I will often try to cut that sort of thing out, but as you can see here, hidden back piece in that cave. Same key does all the stuff in here. That's not always the case. Before Morrowind, Daggerfall, the previous game, had vast dungeons that were very complicated and kind of procedurally generated and went all over the place in 3 dimensions. They were an absolute nightmare to navigate whatsoever. So Morrowind is actually a big step in the let's not waste people's time quite so much veins, but it's still definitely affected by that. We want to make this complex, organic sort of feel, as opposed to, say, Skyrim, where the dungeons are basically a tube. And they even come with a special exit at the back. So it can be a little more complex navigating around. Oh, that's a tree. My mistake. Embarrassing myself. Oh, yes. Oh, you're the leader of the smugglers. Probably added by a mod, because generally speaking, as I think I said before, if something is, if a person in Morrowind is native to the game, almost all of them will have a name, an identity, some degree of cultural relevance thought through, even if they're just, like Tansy, one-note throwaways that are there purely to kill quickly. There's a couple of exceptions. There's like a few Nords and bandits who are just called like Bandit or Nord or whatever, but the vast majority of characters are named. And here in Addamasartus at the start of the game, everyone was given names, so Addamasartus has been, eased up a little, which is fine. It makes it a bit more fun. That's the sword I was talking about a moment ago. Now, somewhere in this nest of bones, there's a ring. Is that it? That's it. The thief ring. It would be great, really amazing, if it was constant effect, but it's not. It's cast on use. It's still, potentially useful, but 5 points in 3 stats, and you have to remember to actually activate it. It's not going to be a big thing. Like any RPG, Morrowind has the problem where you tend to hoard consumables. Well, I mean, maybe you don't. I do. I tend to hoard consumables like a lunatic. Felthorn. Hey, who's that? Who goes? What? I'm sorry. What? Damn right you're sorry. Sorry-ass adventurers with your clammy-ass hands. What do you want? I was planning to take this sword. Keep those grubby mitts to yourself. I'll have you know I'm quite comfortable here. I'm nice and cozy between these ribs in this dark, damp cave. Been here long enough to watch this poor fool die and get turned to rat food. You should have seen how the idiot went out. It was a riot. Okay, tell me. I remember it like it was yesterday. This lug ran away from the slaver twerps up front, scrambles back into these tunnels and gets swarmed by rats. Against all odds he manages to take him out, then he trips on a rock and impales himself. He just sat here and bled out, while crying like some soggy mortal infant. Ah, it really takes me back. You firmly grasp the blade and feel a cold shiver as life is drained from your body. Ha ha ha! You mortals are so predictable. Thanks for the meal. Rude. The scamp dematerializes into a fine mist, which then reforms into the rusted rapier. It comes to rest in your hand. Geez, that smarts. Look, no reason to get all angry. I was just hungry is all. Going so long without a proper meal will do things to you. You know how it is. What sort of magic is this? Look, that's a long story. All you need to know is I'm a potent weapon with a few extra tricks up my sleeve. I can be a big help if you'll let me. Think of it as paying you back for that little bit of roughhousing. Oh, the name's Felthorn, by the way. A pleasure. Goodbye, Felthorn. My Iron Spark Sword does 1 to 18 plus D4. Felthorn does 3 to 10. Flat. It does increase agility and attack a little, but it also makes me more vulnerable to magicka. At the moment, it's not that great. Also, I see my hit points are really far down again, which is kind of annoying. I should see if I can grab some rest. Yeah, that's undone the damage from Felthorn's drain as well, which is good. I mean, it's always nice and restorative, loitering in a damp smuggler's cave next to a long dead corpse or something. Very festive. It's not worth anything worth taking. I remember this will bring me up and out where I said we'd probably appear last time. Yeah, there we are. So here we are, back at the entry to Addamasartus. We could have gone up there and gone round the back. But we didn't. Let's go help these slaves. Ravashi. This is the slave with the boots.
Hello? Are you here to let Dravashai go free? If so, I won't go far without shoes on my feet. Ah, yes, this is Dravashai's fur boots, thank you.
He puts them on.
They have been crafted for this Khajiit by one good friend. Yes, my legs feel much better, though it still hurts. Could you please travel together with Dravashai to the nearest settlement?
There's a town, Seydanin. I can take you to a trade house where you can find help.
Let's go. Grr. Dravashai cannot come to town with this bracer on. He will be sold to slavery again. The smugglers have the key. Could you help Khajiit go free?
Of course, friend. Be free.
You have the key. Will you let Vashai free?
I wasn't teasing you.
Yes, Dravashai is free. You are a good friend of Dravashai.
Thanks. Let's free these other people too. Dravashai will follow us, but the others will not.
This one is not cruel like the others.
Thank you for noticing.
Do you have the key to these bracers? Will you let me go free? You have the key.
Here you go.
Yes, Badargo is free. You are a good friend of Badargo.
Quick, find the key before they return. Sweet sugar.
Do you have the key to these bracers? Will you let me go free?
I will.
Yes, now I am free. Thank you, Syra.
And Banals.
We should not talk.
Oh, really?
Do you have the key to these braces? Will you let me go free?
There you go.
Yes, now I am free. Thank you, Syra.
So that's a couple of Argonians and a couple of Khajiit. As you can see from this Khajiit here, Badargo, he walks on his toes and with his heels in the air, and in fact, neither Argonians nor Khajiit in Morrowind, PCs that is, can wear boots, which is why it's a thing that Dravashai has boots, because he has flat feet. He's a different type of Khajiit. They call them fur stocks. There are 16 of them, and I might start rambling about them later. But the basic thing is that he is a Cathay Khajiit, and he is a Suje Khajiit. It all depends on what phase of the moon you're born under. Not to do with who your parents are at all. Different Khajiit, born on different nights, different shapes. It's a lifestyle. So that's everything that we have to do here in Addamasartus. It's only a... Oh, do I have to tell Dravashai to follow me again? It's only a starter dungeon. And it's not huge or anything. There you are.
Khajiit will taste freedom soon.
Soon as you want to, my friend. Travel together.
Just who I needed to see. How is life treating you, friend? let's travel together, Dravashai. We are going? You lead the way, yes? Yes, let's go. Dravashai follows you.
Thank you, friend. Good. Now, I can't actually give him better clothing, despite all these dead people we could take it from. But he'll sort himself out for that in a minute. So yeah, that's Addamasartus. Addamasartus is there to... Oh, it's night. Sparkly. Addamasartus is there to just give you a little taste of dungeoneering, introduce you to some of the main conflicts, to highlight the degree of slavery in Morrowind, to give you some people to help, some bits of loot to pick up, show you what it's like when you're floating around underwater a bit, stuff like that. It's not really part of the tutorial as such, but it's certainly, you know, baby's first Morrow dungeon. I see you're a loudmouth, Johnny. Says you. Dravashai there? Yes, good. Okay, let's take him into the trade house.
I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. You want a little advice? That's free. That's all that's free.
Thanks, Aurel.
Is this the trade house? Thank you, kind equalizer, for freeing me and for finding Khajiit's boots, for bringing me to safety. Dravashai will try and find some help now. I am ashamed to use your kindness so much, but could you also lend Dravashai 100 drakes? Yeah, sure, I can spare that. With 100 drakes, Khajiit could acquire equipment and supplies. Dravashai shall repay you the debt. I do not like to live at someone else's expense. No.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Sarah. I will buy weapons and a new shirt. Khajiit's current shirt is not good for socializing. Please, find Dravashai in 2 hours and I will repay you the debt.
No problem. I just want to have a quick look at bits of armor I picked up and see if any of them are more useful in slot than the ones that I had before. So my helm is medium. That's light. That's light. So I'm not going to change that. Wolf Cuirass chest piece. Light. Armor rating 2. Bear Cuirass. Medium. Okay, won't change that either. Boots were fine. Thief Ring. I mean, I might as well put it on. Always take it back off again. Just sell it. Is there anything else that needs selling offhand? I picked up some arrows. They're just dead weight. Yeah, I think that's it. But they don't weigh very much, which is why I picked them up in the first place. And that was a mistake. But I should flog that quickly while we're here. So, Auril, me old mate, me old chum. Hi, Auril. Let me flog you this rubbish weapon. See if you'll take it up one. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, the joys of trying to level Mercantile. Really, it's far better if you try to level it by training it, but still. Now, there is stuff to do upstairs. And actually, let me just pop up there for a moment.
You look like you could use a friend, Outlander. Perhaps I can be your friend. I'd like you to help me recover some gold.
Priska, you and I are never going to be friends. You are scum. But why don't you tell me what you're talking about, because you are a loud mouth. What do you mean, recover some gold? That's right, see, I had a run of bad luck playing 9 holes and lost a bit of money. Normally I'd be fine. We can usually keep some gold in our pockets just from the money the locals pay us for protection. But I know some of them are holding out on me, especially that little fetcher, Fargoth. He's come up light the last couple of weeks when I've shaken him down. I know he's stashing it somewhere. I'd like you to find Fargoth's hiding place. His hiding place.
I know the little fetcher's got one somewhere in town, just not sure where yet. I've already gone through his whole house, so I know he's not hiding it there. I'd like you to find out where he's stashing his gold. If you can, I'll give you a share of the wealth. You up for it? Hell no! You vile scum! Go die in a dumpster fire or something. No? Well, I'll find someone else to do it then. Will you? Won't be me. Now,
like
showing my wild hypocrisy.
To the fire, don't you?
Must be going crazy.
No,
Talking
no,
to
I don't.
myself like this.
Raflod's also a thief. I overheard you talking to Hriskar. Are you interested in jobs like that? Not afraid of getting caught, are you? Nope, I'm kind of past the getting caught phase. I need someone who can open a lock without being seen and fetch a book for me. You in? Oh, you sweet summer child, Raflod. There's a logbook in the Census and Excise warehouse here in Seydanin. There's at least 2 copies of it. One is always kept upstairs, and that one will be harder to steal. There should be another one near the storage area. Fetch it and bring it back to me, and I'll make it worth your time. Yeah, when you say that... Did you find it? Yup. Good work, Syra. Here's your share. I know someone who really wants this book. No, I don't know why, and I didn't ask. Let me know if you want more jobs. Here, a book for a book, I always say. Do you? Like, really? How often does that come up in conversation? A book for a book. How often does someone just hand you a book? Well, maybe it's more often than I think. This one has a lesson for you. Thank you. It'll probably be a skill book. Do you have more jobs? I have a few clients who collect rare books. Some of them have strange tastes. One of them wants a copy of The Prayers of Baranat. Fortunately, I heard this book was recently stolen by the Galdres gang. And who the hell are the Galdres gang? That's what the folks in Pelagiad are calling them. Bit of a local nuisance. Okay, well, we'll hit Pelagiad on the way to speaking to Caius eventually. I've heard their hideout is in the Prunamu cave. It's easy to get to, but it's a little bit of a walk. Head up the road to Pelagiad and keep going northeast until you hit Lake Amaya, then keep going east along the southern shore. If you reach the Dren Plantation, you've gone too far. That's definitely one of those Morrowind directions that'll end up with a lot of wandering around the countryside, stabbing Netch and stuff. Actually, not Netch. I don't stab Netch. Netch are cute. Netch are like cows, only floaty and neon. Anyway, Raflod here is a member of the Thieves Guild. But unlike Hriskar, he knows who he should be ripping off, that being other gangsters and the man, and not just general people. That's alone the scout that Arill told us, not Arill, Sasusia Agala told us about, and claimed she had directions as to where we needed to get to next. She doesn't have any directions. We'll talk to her later. So now let's wait a couple of hours in this nice warm lobby. I won't be resting, I'll just be hanging around like the rest of you. And then maybe we can talk to Dravashai again. Hello again, friend. I did lend you 100 drakes, Dravashai. Sire, Dravashai is a Khajiit of his word. Please take your 100 drakes, and a 20 above. You must be thinking, where does Khajiit take money from? Yes, I had a gem hidden in my boot. One of those boots you bought me in the cave. Dravashai gives the gem to the High Elf and gets some money, see? Take your share. Now I have another offer for you. And this is Dravashai's basic function in Morrowind. You see, this land of Dark Elves is not kind to the Khajiit, even less so this island we stay on. Dravashai knows a place where Khajiit are treated better. It is like an oasis in a dry desert of harsh people and cruelty. This place is called Old Ebonheart, a big city on the other side of this sea. Dravashai wants to go there before he gets caught again. For this, we need to go to Castle Ebonheart first. People say it is nearby to the east of here. There we find a shipmaster and sail across the sea. If Syra protects Dravashai all the way to Old Ebonheart, Khajiit will repay Syra. Dravashai is a Khajiit of his word, remember? So, what do you say?
So the point of this is a signpost to Tamriel Rebuilt and the vast amounts of content that they've added into the game. We will take Travashai up on this offer, possibly even effectively from this moment, because you get a better experience if you go into Ebonheart at low level and start playing through the vast expansion from early game. But that's going to be a dragon break, a fork in time. I'm not going to do it right away, because first I want to rampage around Morrowind and get really powerful. Then maybe we'll spool back and then take up Travashai on his offer. So I am interested. Good. Khajiit is happy with your choice. Travashai is ready to travel together to Old Ebonheart when Syra is ready. Goodbye, Travashai. I will see you in both a moment and some months, probably. So we need to drop a save here so that I don't lose this thing. Syra with Travashai for Tamriel Rebuilt. That's snappy. Okay, now you just hang here for a few months and enjoy Ariel barking about how nothing is free, and Ariel's friend / assistant / customer / wife, still not sure. And I'll see you by the way. I'll be back for sure for soon anyway. Just not for any particular reason. So the other thing I wanted to get done for now is to...
Say your piece or
I'm already gone, you blithering windbag. We need to get to the matter of Processus Vitalis, as I mentioned earlier, because I'm interested to see if we can open up some of the Seydanin early game, if that is actually as developed as suggested. Like, there's all this stuff here. This is all new. I don't know much about this other than it looks like someone's building a ship here, and we will go and have a look at that. And there's also Pliskar to deal with, because another expansion in the Seydanim early game is that you can go and talk to Fargoth and give him the bad news. So, Tax Inspector, in this particular mod pack, I don't remember for certain whether this is where he is in base game. It's quite possible. This is Tarhill. Go to Tarhill and turn south. And then follow around the edge of the swampy bits and go down towards the coast. Can I just say how gorgeous Morrowind is? I know I've said it a lot over the course of these videos, and I'm probably going to keep saying it because I'm nothing if not repetitive. But it's just so alien compared to the great majority of game environments. It's so new and fresh. Even though I say that and it's 20 years old now, there's still been so little that looks and feels like Morrowind does. And, you know, the Bitter Coast is almost normal compared to some of the environments. It's such a shame that, with fantasy being this realm of vast possibility, I mean, literally, you can find magic excuses for anything you want, that so much of it is just like Lord of the Rings. It's such a shame. Now, Processus is down here somewhere. I've been ranting, of course, and haven't kept entirely perfect track of where I'm supposed to be, which is annoying. These things are sent to test us, and particularly you, I guess, since, well, I suppose I might cut this out. Where are you, motherless goat? I mean, you even saw that I had a save earlier, tracking down where he was. So it's kind of galling that now I've lost track of it. side of this little oven. Yeah, naturally. What's that? So that's not right. Okay. So we're definitely going to cut this out. This is just boring. But at the same time, I don't entirely want to just stop talking because I'm going to lose momentum. Well, you know, who knows, maybe I'll do an offcuts thing one day and you can hear me making weird chimp noises. Ook, 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 eep, eep. Stuff like that. But let's get ourselves back to Tarheel. Poor, poor, stupid, dead Tarheel. May he rest forever in the bitterness of the dev, Mark, whatever his fucking name is. Mark Nelson. May he rest forever in the bitterness of Mark Nelson's hairy armpits. Right. Oh no, here he is. Okay, right, well, that was a whole load more annoying. I mean, still pretty. And the rain gives a nice set. I mean, look at the raindrops on the water. That's amazing. So, Processus Vitellus, dead taxman, has 200 septims in gold. There we go. And the tax records, again, there we go. Has some fairly dubious and pointless clothing. He's welcome to keep it. It's not like anyone's ever going to come and bury him or anything. Corpses tend not to get cleaned away in Morrowind. And in fact, they often make good containers because they don't refresh and they don't degrade and they're not technically owned by anyone. So you can just keep on using them. And there is, in particular, one dead nobleman who often gets used as a vast storehouse, which is hilarious. Because containers have a certain amount of stuff they can hold, but for people, that threshold is calculated by their strength and the effects that strength has on their endurance. If they're dead, they don't have any endurance, they don't have any strength. They have infinite capacity. You can just keep jamming things into someone's ribcage until, well, the cows come home, then you grab the cows and you jam them in there too, which is really fairly unhealthy, if I put it that way. Yes, shut up, Johnny. Okay. Let's go and tell the authorities about their dead tax person. Hey, Sususius Olby. No, Celis Olby.
The Emperor and the Emperor's law.
Very pious. What? Another report of Hriskar's bad behavior? Oh, yeah, sure. Hriskar's an absolute idiot. Oh, that's not why you're here? It seems like he's the only reason any newcomer comes back in here these days. Well, Hriskar's determined to make Fargoth's life a living hell, and it's really unfair. That's a serious accusation against someone with Hriskar's connections. And I believe you, truly I do. I've given him punishments and orders which he has ignored. I've sent letters to Ebonheart and even one to Cyrodiil. I only received one response, which was that Hriscar was to be left alone. Well, what do you mean connections? Oh, I've got to ask first, probably, haven't I? What could be done about this? If there was enough evidence, perhaps you can ask people around town if they will write a letter testifying to his crimes. Gather 3 or 4 of these letters and take them to the Knight of the Garland, who handles investigations in criminal matters. Currently, that'll be Cavortius Albutian. What an awesome name, Cavortius and Albutian. Spicy. In Ebonheart. So, tell me about Hriskar's connections. I don't know what they are, only that I was told to ignore him. I have no other explanation. Okay, and tell me about Cavortius. he will most likely be in the garrison, which is a bit hard to find. And coming from someone in Morrowind, you know that's an understatement. In Ebonheart, head west over the bridges to get to the Grand Council Chamber. Take the door on the right to the Imperial Commission, then the door on the left to the Imperial Guard garrison. And I will definitely do that. And thank you. Doesn't look like I can tell you about Processus quite yet. Let's try now. Your timing is excellent. I'm looking for someone to lead a band of adventurers to Firemoth Fort. Ah yes, the Firemoth micro DLC. The Imperial Fort offshore to the west was captured years ago by the undead horde of Grön, who literally marched out of the ocean and overran the garrison there. The survivors were forced to leave behind the ward of Akavir, and I'm looking for someone to lead a group to retrieve it. Are you up for it? I can lead the group, but no, not at the moment. I will do. Not the answer I was hoping for. I hope you reconsider. I will, for sure. Goodbye. Now can I tell you about... No, I can't. How about latest rumours? No. Okay, maybe I need to tell... Maybe I do actually need to tell Zasusia Segala then. Okay. Will you talk to me about a taxman? Yes. Hello? Is there something you want from me? Yes, your taxman is dead. Murdered? What a waste. Processus was a good man. I've been wondering why we hadn't heard from him in a few days. Still, these are dangerous times we live in, and these sorts of things will happen. Did you happen to find the tax money he'd collected? I hate to be so callous, but I do have a job to do. Yes, I got 2,200 septims on him. You did? How odd that he was murdered but not robbed. Your honesty is appreciated, I can tell you that. I won't forget this, Syra. In fact, if you're looking for some money for yourself, I'd like to see the murderer of Processus punished. Killing an emperor's tax collector is punishable by death. Find his murderer, bring him to justice, and the Census and Excise Office will pay you 500 septims. I'll do it, friend. Is there anything more you can tell me about it? Hope you'll bring that murderer to justice soon. Yeah, me too. Don't suppose you'd write a letter about Friska, would you? Nope. I mean, I suppose you are one of his colleagues. This is tax death. So as you can see, by following the chain and finding the person who actually killed him, we get 2.5 times what the cash was worth, plus various XP for fighting and stuff like that, so it's well worth it. The last thing I want to do right now is find Fargoth and clue him in that the idiot's on the warpath. He's normally around here. Maybe he's in bed because it's wet or something. Let's try hanging around for a while. 7 AM. Let's try midday. The weather's still rubbish. I'm not entirely sure where Fargoth's house is. I'm not entirely sure where Fargoth's house is. It's down the back somewhere. One of these hovels, if I'm right. I'm not going to spend forever looking for it though. Well, what I'll do then is I will go and park myself in the trade house and pass a few days off camera, and when we come back hopefully the weather will be better and Fargoth will be around to talk to. There. Accidental Khajiit. Actually know what her role is here. She could be helping out, she could be hanging around. But I think that'll do it for there. We'll leave ourselves in this nice cozy little spot and admire a real flexing his chest muscles or something. And when we come back next time, we'll start building a case against Friska to go and dob him off to the authorities and get him actually kicked out of the guard. and High Time 2. And we'll try to track down the person who murdered poor Processus Vitalis, who at least Cassius Agala seems to have liked. And there are a couple of dungeons just round here that are a bit more challenging, should we say, than Addamasartus. We're definitely going to have to go and poke our heads into there and get them caved in a few times. One of them has a rather nice ring-in that's probably worth grabbing. And I didn't really babble very much about Khajiit lore at you this episode, but maybe I'll do that next time. Maybe I'll just give you a sort of random info dump on the Khajiit while we're wandering around if there's nothing else to talk about. So if you like the video, please give it a like. It really helps. Subscribe if you haven't. That helps even more. Leave a comment. That would be amazing. Tell people. Maybe buy a big advert in the next Super Bowl about this particular Let's Play. That would be hilarious and very, very stressful, but still hilarious. And in the meantime, have a great day, and I will see you soon.